A steel plant hums on against the backdrop of war. But Ukraine's steel industry, the future of 30% of the country's exports and 10% of its GDP, is in doubt. This plant in Zaporizhzhia, run by Roman Slobodianuk, isn't giving up.
Тож це одна з тих сфер економіки, яка
It is the economic sector that suffered the most from the war.
постраждала.
Almost 50% of the entire sector is not functioning today.
Вона на сьогоднішній день не функціонує.
In Soviet times, Ukraine produced more than 55 million tons of steel annually. That fell to 23 million by 2021, and after Russia invaded last year, output was just 6.9 million in 2022, as plants were taken over or destroyed. Although domestic demand has doubled as Ukraine churns out weapons and builds bomb shelters, as well as rebuilding towns. But despite what is produced, moving it is the problem. Russia continues to pose a threat to shipments in the vital corridor through the Black Sea.
70 to 80% of the sector, mainly the metal industry, agriculture, the consumer goods industry, used to export their goods via seaports. There were many of them in the Black Sea. But after occupation, we had to adapt and use rail transport.
But rail is 4 times more expensive. Russia has damaged 40% of Ukraine's power network, leading to production losses from shutdowns. The labour market is also squeezed. Zaporizhzhia is only 31 miles from the front line and Europe's largest nuclear plant, which is now under Russia's control. The plant has lost 20% of its 10,000-strong workforce since Russia invaded.
Many workers have left and serve at the front line. Both senior and younger workers have left. Some of them serve at the Zaporizhzhia front, others serve at the Donetsk front.
जैसे जैसे अब मौसम चेंज हो रहा है और सर्दियाँ आ रही हैं तो मेरे को ये और ख़ुद से बहुत महसूस हो रहा है कि पोल्यूशन अब बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ता जा रहा है और सांस लेने में मुझे बहुत दिक्कत होती है। अब जैसे हरियाणा और यूपी की तरफ से अब पराली जो आती है उससे भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा अब पोल्यूशन बढ़ता है। तो मतलब हाँ, तो हमें उस चीज़ के बारे में सोचना चाहिए और ख़ुद से कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि हम पोल्यूशन कम करें।
Unilever's new CEO aims to make a big impact quickly. On Thursday, Hein Schumacher laid out plans to simplify the business and deliver faster growth. He did so while admitting the consumer goods giant had underperformed in recent years. Schumacher said the quality of its growth, productivity and returns had all underdelivered. He said Unilever would now focus on improving its gross margin and not undertake any major acquisitions. The maker of Dove soap and Ben & Jerry's ice cream met market expectations for third quarter sales growth. Unilever reported a 5.2% rise in underlying sales, meeting analysts' average forecasts. It achieved this by raising prices at a slower rate. But the company failed to win back some shoppers who turned to cheaper products during a cost of living crisis. Schumacher said the company would now focus on 30 key brands which account for 70% of its sales. He replaced previous CEO Alan Jope, who had a difficult final year at Unilever. The consumer goods industry has also struggled for more than 2 years due to soaring costs.
A mass shooting left multiple people dead in the city of Lewiston, Maine on Wednesday evening, about 35 miles north of the state's largest city, Portland. Eyewitness video from one location showed people running away and ambulances arriving. Authorities said the shootings took place shortly before 7 p.m. local time at a bar and a bowling alley. And as of midnight, the gunman was still on the run. In a news briefing, the state's Public Safety Commissioner Mike Sorschuk identified a person of interest, but stopped short of calling the man a suspect.
Police are currently searching for a Robert R. Card, 4/4 of 1983 of Bowdoin. Card is considered armed and dangerous. He is a person of interest, however, and that's what we'll label him at moving forward until that changes.
Solskjaer declined to give further details about Card, but officials released more pictures of the man and warned people not to approach him. Authorities urged those in Lewiston to shelter in place, as well as the town of Lisbon between Lewiston and Bowden, after finding a vehicle of interest there. Central Maine Medical Center in Lewiston issued a statement saying it was reacting to a mass casualty mass shooter event and coordinating with area hospitals to take patients. The White House said President Joe Biden spoke with Maine Governor Janet Mills by phone and offered full federal support in what he called a horrific attack.